6 molecular basis of inheritance. As far as inheritance is concerned, it is already discussed in chapter number 5. Today we will discuss the basis of inheritance. Basically, we will discuss about the molecular basis. Out of that, as we all know, DNA carries the genetic information. So you can say genetic information is stored in the DNA, which is responsible for all type of aspects. In this chapter, we will discuss about the genes. What are the genes? What kind of genes are there? What are the sequence? Genetic variations we will discuss here, and heredity of the genes and heredity of the genetic material. So, dear students, let's start with the PPTs. Study of genes, genetic variation and heredity. It explains how an offspring looks similar to the parents. So when we will see offsprings are similar to the parents, the children just look like the parents. So DNA, RNA and genetic code form the basis of molecular basis of inheritance. They transmit the hereditary genes from the parents to the offspring. So you can see a figure is given here. You can see genes. In the molecular biology, gene will form the protein and protein will perform a specific function. So this is the cycle can be shown here or and explained. A outline figure is given. What is DNA? DNA is a basically polynucleotide that is made of three type of components. First is pentose sugar. It is deoxyribose sugar in the DNA. Second one is phosphate group. And the third one is nitrogen bases. Basically, it includes purines, pyrimidines, base pairing with hydrogen bonds. Adenine forms two hydrogen bonds, while the thymine and the guanine two cytosine with three bonds. So everything will be discussed in detail here. First of all, we will discuss about the DNA here. Basically, DNA is a genetic material and it is a polymer of deoxyribonucleotides. Its length is defined as number of nucleotides and a pair of nucleotides. So we can see there is a great variation in the number of base pairs and it will decide the length of the DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid is a molecule composed of two polynucleotide chains that coil around each other to form a double helix, carrying genetic instructions for the development, functioning, growth, and reproduction of all non-organisms and many viruses. So what will you see? DNA is a genetic material. It carries different type of genetic information which is responsible for the type of characters here. Again, when we look at its structure, you can see this is the coiled structure. It is clearly seen here in the figure. You can see the red colored structures are the adenine, yellow is thymine, guanine and cytosine. And these are the two chains. This is 3' chain and this is 5' chain. It contains in the left hand side this is the major groove. In alternate to major there is a minor groove. Now characteristics and features of the organism depend on the length of the DNA. For example, you can see in the bacteriophage there are 5386 nucleotides present and the example of bacteriophage is 5 into 174. Second example of the bacteriophage is lambda and it contains 48,502 base pairs. In the next one, Escherichia coli. This is the bacteria. Gram-negative bacteria, it contains 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs. So these are the different number of base pairs. And as far as human genome is concerned, it contains 3.3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, and these base pairs are calculated in the haploid set of chromosomes. You can see a figure is given here, that is microvirus 5 into 174. It contains 5.3 kb size, and there is a different functions are given here. In the next part of the slide, you can see structure of polynucleotide chain. DNA molecules have two polynucleotide chains held together in a ladder-like structure. You have seen the ladder in your house. It looks like the ladder. There is a backbone in the ladder which is made of sugar and phosphate, while the steps are made of nitrogen base pairs. So you can see the sugar phosphate backbone of the two chains run parallel to each other in a opposite direction. Each rung of the ladder is a pair of nitrogen genus bases, one purine and one pyrimidine extending into the center of the molecule. So in the next one, the polynucleotide chain is made of nucleotides. So as I have already explained in class 11th, what is the polynucleotide, what is nucleotide, and what are the nucleosides. A nucleotide has three components. If we talk about the components of the nucleotide, then you can see it contains a nitrogen base, a pentose sugar, a ribose sugar in RNA, while the deoxyribose sugar in DNA, and it contains a phosphoric acid. Out of that, phosphate group is important. There are two types of nitrogen bases, purines and pyrimidines. Example of purines are guanine and adenine, and example of pyrimidines are cytosine, uracil and thymine. Adenine, guanine and cytosine is a common in RNA and DNA, while the uracil is present only in RNA and thymine is present only in the DNA in place of uracil. So pentose sugar is a ribose in the RNA and deoxyribose in the DNA. A figure is given here, components of nucleic acid, very important. DNA, it contains thymine. In RNA, it contains uracil. So thymine is the specific base pair of DNA only. It is not found in RNA, while in the RNA, uracil is present in place of this. And DNA and RNA, it contains some common nitrogen base pairs or nitrogen bases, that is the adenine, guanine and cytosine. This is the structure of deoxyribose sugar here, where at 2 number carbon OH group is absent, while in the ribose sugar at the 2 number position OH is present. It makes it active, and this is the phosphoric acid, and its phosphate group is used in the DNA and RNA. There are 5 nitrogen base pairs already I have told you: guanyl, adenyl, these are the purines, and guanine and adenine both are found in DNA as well as in the RNA. And as far as purines are concerned, it is made of double ring structures. You can see there are the 2 rings here. This is the first ring with 6 carbon, and this ring contains another 5 members. Out of that, 2 are common. Total 9 members. Cytosine, thymine, both are the pyrimidines, and uracil also the pyrimidine. If we talk about the cytosine, it is common in DNA and RNA both, while thymine is specific in DNA and uracil is specific in RNA. So these are the pyrimidines. Next one is nucleosides. What do you mean by the nucleoside? A nucleoside consists simply of a nitrogenous base and 5 carbon sugar, ribose or 2-deoxyribose. So nucleoside is made of nitrogen base plus sugar. A nitrogen base attached to the pentose sugar at C1 of pentose sugar through the N-glycosidic linkage. This is important. Which type of linkage or bond is found in nucleoside, especially in between carbon and nitrogen base? Then your answer must be N-glycosidic linkage. A table is given here: nucleotide and nucleic acid nomenclature, base, purines, adenine and guanine, pyrimidine, cytosine, thymine, uracil. As far as name of the nucleosides are concerned, adenosine, deoxyadenosine, guanosine and deoxyguanosine. Cytidine, deoxycytidine, thymidine, deoxythymidine and uridine. Nucleotide: adenylate, deoxyadenylate, guanylate, deoxyguanylate. It is found in respective nucleic genetic materials. What are the nucleotides? A nucleotide is one of the structural component or building blocks of the DNA and RNA. This is the important one. Number question can be asked on here. A nucleotide is one of the structural component or building blocks of the DNA and RNA. A nucleotide consists of a nitrogenous base. It contains the nitrogenous base plus a molecule of sugar. Sugar molecule will be there, and one of the phosphoric acid. So it is made of three components. When a phosphate group is linked to 5 prime OH to nucleoside through phosphodiester linkage. So linkage which is found in between the phosphate group and nucleoside is phosphodiester bond. Nucleoside, this is the nucleoside base plus sugar. This green colored structure showing the pentose sugar, and this is the base. On the other hand, base plus sugar plus phosphate. These are three components. It is the symbol of nucleotide. Now come to the next. Two nucleotides are linked together, or you can say linked through the 3 prime to 5 prime phosphodiester linkage to form a dinucleotide. When two nucleotides linked to each other by phosphodiester linkage, then it forms dinucleotide. Polynucleotide chain is formed in this manner. It has at one end a free phosphate moiety at 5 prime end of ribose sugar, and it is known as 5 prime end of polynucleotide chain. While at the other end of the polymer chain, the ribose has free 3 prime OH, which is referred as 3 prime end of the polynucleotide chain. The backbone is made of sugar and phosphate. So you can see these are the backbones and these are the bases. The nitrogenous bases linked to sugar moiety project from the backbone. In RNA, every nucleotide residue has an additional OH. You can see the structure of ribose sugar here. This is the oxygen. In the right of the oxygen, we give the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And this is the 2 number carbon. And the presence of OH makes it ribose sugar, which is active. The uracil is found in place of thymine. 5-methyl uracil is the another name of the thymine. So you can see in RNA, first additional thing is that dash OH group is present on 2 prime position in the ribose sugar, while uracil is also found in place of thymine. As far as discovery of the DNA is concerned, 1869, Friedrich Mischer, he identified that DNA has an acidic substance present in the nucleus. He gave the name nuclein. So, first genetic material was discovered by Mischer in the 1869, and the name given was nuclein. In 1952, Morris Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin provided the X-ray diffraction data which were used by J.D. Watson and F.C. Crick proposed the DNA double helix model for structure of the DNA. In the 1940, Irwin Chargaff proposed Chargaff's rule. It states that DNA from any cell of any organism should have 1:1 stoichiometric ratio of purine and pyrimidines. It means DNA contains equal quantity of purines and pyrimidines always. You can see this is the adenine and guanine. Adenine bonds with thymine and guanine bonds with cytosine. What is the Chargaff rule and what is the rule? Number first. The first rule holds that a double-stranded DNA molecule globally has percentage base pair equality. It means for a double-stranded DNA, the ratios between the adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine are constant and equal to 1. So, A equals to T and G equals to C. So, but he failed to explain the structure and symmetry of the DNA. This is the rule number second. The second rule holds that both percentage of A and percentage of T is equal and percentage of G and percentage of C are equal, valid for each of the two DNA strands. This describes only a global feature of the base composition in a single DNA strand. A figure is given here to explain the Chargaff's rule. This is the one molecule of DNA. It is hydrolyzed by DNA enzyme and it is broken down into A, T, G and C nucleotides. First parity rule is percentage of A equals to percentage of T and percentage of G equals to percentage of C. We can write the rule here as follows: percentage of A plus G equals to percentage of C. Basically, these are the purines and these are the pyrimides. A plus G divided by C plus T equals to 1. Purines divided by pyrimides. Now, the base pairing shows the complementarity. So, always G, A, these are the purines which will bind to pyrimidines. So, adenine always binds to thymine and guanine always binds to cytosine. So ATGC, this will be the combination. Both the strand DNA behaves like template DNA and it can synthesize the two new copies of daughter DNA. These copies are identical to parental DNA. So copies are always identical to parental DNA. You can see the Chargaff's rule here. Adenine is equal to thymine and guanine is equal to cytosine. Now we will start the DNA double helix model. What do you mean by the DNA double helix model? First question, who proposed the DNA double helix model? J.D. Watson and F.C. Crick in the year 1953. A DNA molecule consists of two strands that wind around each other like a twisted ladder. Salient features, what are the important features of the DNA double helix model? First feature is a DNA molecule consists of two strands that wind around each other like a twisted ladder. First feature, it is made of two polynucleotide chains where the backbone is constituted by sugar phosphate and the base projected inside. So, backbone is made of sugar and phosphate while the base pairs are projected inside the ladder. The two chains have anti-parallel polarity. It means one chain has the polarity 5' to 3' and the other will be 3' to 5'. The bases in two strands are paired through hydrogen bonds. So, base pairs are bonded with the help of hydrogen bonds, forming the base pairs. BP means base pairs. Adenine forms two hydrogen bonds with the thymine, while cytosine forms three hydrogen bonds with the guanine and vice versa. You can see the figure, important figure here. This is thymine and adenine. It is bonding, these dotted structure shows the number of bonds in the thymine and adenine, while in the cytosine and guanine you can see there are three dotted structures. It means three hydrogen bonds. As a result, always purine comes in opposite to pyrimidine. This generates approximately uniform distance between two strands of the helix. It will explain the answer Why does the distance between two polynucleotide chains in the DNA remains constant? The two chains are coiled in a right-handed fashion. So the coiling in bDNA is right-handed fashion. The pitch of the helix is 3.4 nanometer. Nanometer is 1 billionth of the meter. And there are roughly 10 base pairs in a turn found. So the distance between the base pair in a helix is 0.34 nanometer. So the plane of one base pair stacks over in a double helix, this in addition to hydrogen bonds, and it confers the stability of the DNA helical. So a very beautiful figure is given here. These dotted structures are showing the bonding. Here two figures are given here. The first is DNA double helix. It is showing the cytosine is bonded to guanine and adenine is bonded to thymine, and the pair of adenine and thymine and cytosine and guanine, it is called base pair. And this blue colored structure is showing the backbone. Double stranded polynucleotide is given here. You can see nucleotide. This is cytosine, thymine, guanine, adenine. It is bonded to this one and it is anti-parallel. You can see this is the upright pentagon. This is downward pentagons. Now the next topic is central dogma. What do you mean by central dogma? Basically, central dogma was proposed by Francis C. Crick in the year 1958. The central dogma of molecular biology is an explanation of the flow of genetic information with a biological system. Basically, it is showing the flow of genetic information. Central dogma is the process in which genetic information flows from DNA to RNA to make a functional product protein. And in some viruses, the flow of information reverse direction, means from RNA to DNA. It is known as reverse transcription. So you can see formation of DNA to DNA, it is called replication. DNA to RNA, it is called transcription, and RNA to protein, it is called translation. Important figure is given here. This is the DNA. Formation of DNA to DNA is replication. Formation of DNA to RNA is transcription, and RNA to DNA is reverse transcription. And translation is carried out and it will form as functional protein. So, dear students, we will stay here up to central dogma. I have explained what is the genetic material, what is the DNA, the important components of DNA, and the DNA double helix model. So, dear students, try to understand, read it again and again, try to learn. If you have any problem, you can message me on WhatsApp group. So, thank you very much. Have a nice day.